cat.
And it's got some paper on its tail. Let's see what that's about. Find the meaning of life. It's got like a map on the other side.
There's a map on the other side. Nice.
That's what I just said. Should we go find the meaning of life?
That's all what we are about, right?
Yeah, let's go find the meaning of life.
And so, our intrepid adventurers set out on a grand journey across the lands to find what has been lost and to lose what has been found, making allies along the way, as well as many enemies, tactically advancing away from any dangers, from which there are many, like that nosy neighbor Carol.
Damn it, Carol, what I do in my own home is none of your business. Get away from the window, get away from the fucking window.
Ah, here it is. Treasure and
Has a piece of paper. What does it say?
the meaning of life is to pet cats and dogs. That's it. That's it. That's it.
I mean, come on. Don't be such a sourpuss. Welcome everybody to the next SwissRPG review. This time we are reviewing the King of Cats.
Yes, I'm Luke.
And
he's
I'm Babs.
And
Now, the King of Cats. Luke, please give us a short and brief description of the one shot.
so the story begins in a tavern, and then a little cat jumps onto the table with a note on its back saying, "Follow me." And then it runs off. And if you follow it through a back alley where you get attacked by a half ogre
Yeah.
in the middle of
half ogre. Yeah, it wasn't half ogre.
in the middle of some trash. And then afterwards, after you've won or been successfully intimidated, the cat actually speaks to you and says that it needs your help. Then it runs off into a building where you find a whole council of cats. And they lay out that their king is gone, he's disappeared, and you need to find him. And they give you a few points where you could look into it. I mean, obviously you have to accept, but you're gonna accept. A bunch of cats want your help. You're not gonna say
talking cat, what else do I need to say?
so then you look into various clues. Like you have a soothsayer, you have carnival, and you have a rat boss that was the enemy of the Cat King. And you also have some works. And eventually all of that will lead you to the house of some guy that might be implicated. And he is very much implicated. And you find the King of Cats there on a leash. The Great King has been beaten by a leash. And then you have a Climactic Ant Battle. And you free the king, or you betray the king.
Yeah.
Both is an option. Or you just don't do anything. You just, nope, peace out. I'm not having any of this nonsense.
Yeah.
And through one way or the other, the adventure ends. And you just ride off into the sunset, either as a friend of cats or an enemy of cats.
Well, you end up being a friend of cats anyway. You are
Of
either
one
friend
cat.
Of one cat.
You're
or
either
the
friend of
other
one-
cat. Yeah, you end up being. Well, this is already a plus, right?
Some cats may like you, some cats may dislike you.
Like cats
Like
are.
cats.
It's
It's
cats.
cats. It's a
It's
one
cats.
shot about cats.
Yeah, it's cats. So, as Luke mentioned, there are a bunch of encounters in there. Most of them are alright, except like the sewer encounter and the last one, the final battle.
Sewer?
Wasn't there a sewer encounter with the Rat King thing going on?
And that's in a house. The encounters are very odd. Apart from the half-orc at the beginning is sort of mandatory. I mean, you can either intimidate him, he can intimidate you, or you fight, or you run away, I suppose. Yeah. And then in the very end, there's the Climactic Ant Battle. But in between, there's, I think, one other fight, no, two, or maybe two fights possible. Mm-hmm. But they're very optional, which I suppose is good. And because the fights play so much with, you know, they're animals, you're fighting animals. I suppose the fights aren't very standard. You have swarms, you have giant rats, you have wargs. Well, that's it, really. It's not very deep into encounter design, but it
I
gets
mean,
the
it
job
is
done.
thematic, since, I mean, cats are the enemies of rats, and wargs and wolves are the enemies of cats then, again, so...
Yeah,
It is
it works.
thematic, it works.
It
It
works
works in
as-
this context.
the fights work.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about them, but they work.
Yeah.
The end fight has the possibility to be nice and climactic. Not too difficult, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, but yeah, it is a bit cramped in that specific.
It doesn't have any maps, this adventure, which proves to be a problem because the final encounter, I think, shoves you into 20 feet by 10 feet. And it puts 4 wargs, 6 swarms, 2 guys, and the adventurers into that tiny space,
Yeah.
which
I mean,
if you're
everything is cat-sized.
but if you play in a D&D grid-sized combat, it just doesn't work. All these creatures do not fit into that
No.
house.
No. Also, the description of how exactly you should lay out the map if you choose to go for one is difficult. Since what was the one thing, like 15 feet long and 5 feet wide, and then you just start wondering how exactly this can't be right?
The
You read this
maps
and you think this can't be right.
Aren't provided, and the descriptions of the map that you should take are very poor.
Yeah. By the way, the ones that I show you here in this thingy in there are drawn by
Community
Katrin.
member.
Yeah, community member Katrin. Link in the description. Story design is actually cool. I like it. I like the part with the carnival. That was really cool.
There's a bunch of problems though with the story design.
Yeah.
There's a work encounter in there that's either pointless padding, although it does add something thematically, but you could easily have missed it. It's made so it kind of but doesn't really serve the plot.
Yeah.
Then when you enter the rat boss's house, you get attacked by 2 giant rats. After you kill them, you go to the rat boss and just talk. Like, why do the rats attack you then? It's a bit strange.
It's just rats.
I do find the world building very interesting because it plays in Neverwinter, but you could, easily have it in any city.
Yeah.
And
It opens up some kind of like secret society that lives underground.
Yeah, of
with-
animals.
With cats and animals and things that you never heard of before, because everybody's talking about Harpers and Centaurim and
Yeah.
Sanatar's Guild and whatever. So
it's not necessarily something that will be big if you run this as part of a
No,
campaign, but
no.
it's fun.
You
It's
could-
fun
but
to
you
know
could-
that if you see a cat run by, it's like, hey, we helped those guys.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
But you could basically use this one shot to introduce a faction.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. It could definitely work.
You have the carnival, which you talked about. The carnival is fun.
Yeah.
It has, I think, 6 tents that the players can visit, but they feel a bit strange as part of this investigation on where to go, because you need to find a person, and then you go to the carnival, and he said, oh, he's maybe here, maybe in one of the tents, and then all the people want you to pay to go into the tents.
Plus, they're not really described in the one shot, right? You need to come up with a lot of things. If the players want to interact with the tents itself and play some carnival games, then you need to make it up on your own.
The tents itself, the 6 that are in the one shot, they are there, and you need to visit 2 of them, or 1 of 2 of them. But the rest of the carnival isn't described. It just outlines a few things that could be there.
So
not
yeah,
too much.
if your players want to go to throw a ball at some cans, then that's up to you.
The Rat King also, he shows up at the ending as having been part of the scheme that abducted the King of Cats. But if you've not visited the Rat King, which is entirely possible in playing this reveal of having him be there and be part of it feels very flat. And when the wargs show up to save the King of Cats, also feels very flat if you've
Yeah.
not encountered the wargs.
Like we did not encounter the wargs, and the wargs showed up at to the end fight, and I was thinking, okay, we have to fight those
Because
as well.
you're supposed to encounter the wargs right before or after you visit the players visit the Rat King, but they didn't visit the Rat King.
No, we didn't. We just spent way too much time on the carnival, which was fun, very much.
Then I think the ending is quite written in a nicely open way, because you get to betray the King of Cats, or you get to stick with him, and you might get paid either way, or it's like this choice of getting paid or just the King of Cats owing you a favor.
Which is a great idea. I mean, who doesn't want the favor of the King of Cats? Probably not helping you with a big dragon, but in city encounters, maybe ask for directions and then get an answer from the King of Cats. great stuff.
And that's really it, right?
Yeah,
That's the one shot is
Maps,
over.
as mentioned, there is nothing.
There's no maps.
There's no
the,
maps.
The entire adventure falls on the shorter side, especially since you can miss like 2 out of 5 encounters.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could do this in like 2 hours, but also in like 5, probably.
I don't see
if
how
you go every encounter and
I mean, there were 2 more
talk with
encounters.
everyone.
One would have been 15 to 20 minutes. The other one, maybe an hour. And you did it in.
we did it in like 3,
3?
right? Yeah.
So it's a one shot that can fall on the short side. Approximately 4 hours if you do everything, probably.
But gives you great roleplay opportunities.
Yeah, there's not that much to say actually about this. It's very short, 13 pages, easily run, has quite a few things that it lacks, but quite fun.
Yeah, definitely fun to play. So my personal conclusion is more like, yeah, it is a fun one shot, but it's nothing extraordinary good.
No, because
Depends very much on the dungeon master. If you feel comfortable role playing cats and make funny voices for them and so on, then it can definitely be a fun evening.
yeah, there's
but-
several points that could be improved, but there's a decent baseline of what's there.
Yeah, it's decent. So therefore, we agreed to give this a 13.
Yeah, it's not a great one shot by any means,
No, but
but
also
it's
not a bad one.
certainly not bad.
Definitely not a bad one. It's a good one. If you add your proficiency bonus, you could end up at the 15 or something.
Yeah, that's how the
And make it the-
that's how these ratings work.
Exactly, and
apparently.
make it a great one shot, right? You take
Yeah.
a mediocre one, add your proficiency as a dungeon master, and make it a great one. So, well, good. Then I guess that was it for today. Thank you for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe,
Share,
and favorite
like,
and share,
subscribe,
favorite, comment,
comments,
and to
interact.
all your best friends and grandmas and
Yes, cats
people. Then yeah,
to your cats.
put it onto your cats for repeat. They're gonna be very engaged.
Yeah, and next time we might even be doing this up there. See you next time, and goodbye.
Goodbye.